Welcome everybody to meeting number 353, the Toronto Liberty Village Speakers, and I'm your SAA, but also the club president. With this being our last meeting of the Toastmaster year, which ends June 30th, our theme today is success in every step, reflect, recognize, and reignite. Success in every step. That we were, BB and Rita and I were just talking about that earlier, how here comes another guess, how being on a Toastmasters journey, such as lifers, myself, Rita, BB, Elton are probably lifers in Toastmasters, and we learn something new at every single meeting. We never stop learning. It's an ongoing process. You never learn everything overnight by coming to one or two meetings. It's a process that we need to do. I want to reflect on the year that I have had, which has been amazing, to be honest with you. I completed my first path in July last summer, the first month of the new Toastmasters year. I completed my second path in September, and then I was a speechcraft coordinator. I did my DTM project earlier this month, but I still have the one more project to do, which is the club mentor role. I won the Toastmaster of the Year award at the District 60 conference, sorry, which was presented to me by Yukta at the conference because the outgoing Toastmaster of the Year presented the award to me. So everyone here is in very grand royal company right now. So good for you guys. I want to recognize the club members or my fellow club officers in particular, Alton and Bibi. The three of us have been the only club officers of the club for the past 2 years. There are seven club officers, and between the three of us, we have managed to take on all seven club officers. Was I the greatest president? No. Did we have regular executive club meetings or club executive meetings? No. I just figured between the three of us, always signing on early at these meetings, that I felt that our executive committee meetings can be very informal. So a lot of the stuff was discussed via email or when we were together prior to a meeting starting. I want to also recognize Yukta, who is officially our club coach here for the club, and as of this morning, officially will get her club coach credit. The reason being is because we signed on our ninth club member, which gave us that threshold limit that we needed to reach, and that also allowed us to become a distinguished club, helping out Area B22 and its division director, but also the district, of course, as well. I want to reignite the passion that people have, or the existing Toastmasters that have for this organization despite the bad news of 13% being added on after starting on August 4th. But that's out of our control. There's nothing we can do about that. And we're sure that some hoopla is going to be raised about that, which is unfortunate. But just keep in mind that here in Toastmasters, you are supported. It's a safe environment to, if you want to use the word fail, but we never use the word fail in Toastmasters. Even if you think you did something bad, or if you feel you delivered a speech that wasn't up to par to what your mindset was at, don't worry about it because you can make those mistakes in a Toastmasters meeting because it's a safe environment. There's Yukta. Now she's back. With that, I'm going to, it says meet and greet. So we had a guest come in. Yuri, hi. Do you want to briefly tell us about yourself?
Sure. Hi, everyone. I attended my first Toastmaster session actually last month in person. This time I'm attending virtually. I'm located in downtown Toronto and am currently a software engineer. I guess I should also explain why I'm interested in Toastmasters.
Yes.
I would like to improve my spontaneous communication skills. Oftentimes, I'm very well prepared for scripted talks, but when put on the spot, have a bit of nervousness and struggle to um, have more of a structured communication flow. So that's what I'm hoping to improve with Toastmasters. And yeah, happy to be here.
Wonderful, wonderful. Happy to have you back. And as I like to say, you are now classified as a returning guest. And what I like to say is, she's returning. We must have done something right. There you go. I'll turn it over to our word of the day, Yukta, to explain her role as grammarian and oh, and I'll counter as well. Thank you.
Thank you. Good evening, everyone. I am, I have three roles today, two of which I'll be explaining now. One is a grammarian and the other is the accounter. As the grammarian, I'm going to make a note of good usage and usage of grammar that can be improved. Instead of saying bad usage, we say things that can be improved. So I'll make a note of that. And as the R counter, I will be counting the number of R's, ums, right, because a lot of us don't even notice that we are using that when we are speaking. So this is your opportunity to realize that there could be some crutch words that we are using. And every time you think you must say or it's a great strategy to use a pause. So pause there, take a second, look at the audience while you're thinking, and then continue speaking. The word of the day today is momentum, which is to pace things, to take things forward. For example, looking at my journey with Toastmasters this year, I am going to continue the momentum and achieve greater things in the following year. So momentum is the word of the day. Try and use it as much as you can. The target for this group today is to use it 10 times across all the attendees. Let's see if we touch our target by the end of the meeting. Thank you. Over to you, Bruce.
Thank you. Grammarian, counter, and word master, if you want to call it that, Yukta, taking on three roles. I want to continue the momentum by updating the agenda because Elton was in as counter. So thank you, Yukta, for taking that away from him so that he can focus on his speech. Thank you for that. Up next, we have our timer. Adrian, if you want to explain your role, please.
Sure. Greetings, Mr. Toastmaster, fellow Toastmasters, and most honored guests. As timer, I will time the table topic speeches, formal speeches, and the evaluations. I will also alert each speaker of the time they have left using green, yellow, and red cards, which denote specific times remaining. For table topic speeches, should limit their remarks to no more than 2 minutes. I think, can you guys hear me?
Yep. Mhm.
Okay, I think
Here.
I just froze. Those giving speeches should limit their remarks to their specific speech times. Thank you, Mr. Toastmaster.
Thank you. And can you display the green, yellow, red
Oh,
for
yes.
us background so that we know what we're looking for?
Yeah, let me try to find that. Um, Sorry about that. I don't have it open right now. Backgrounds.
Yeah, the video.
Okay.
Yep.
Yeah. So
Very
this
good.
is the green card, the yellow card, and the red card.
Thank you for
Thank
that.
you.
And also, if you use the raised hand feature so that you go into the top left corner,
Oh, yes.
yeah,
Yes,
the
of
usual thing.
course.
So, and then just mute yourself because we're about to get into table topics.
Sure.
Okay. And with that, I will turn it over to our table topics master, which is Bibi. Bibi, your virtual lectern is yours.
Thank you so much, Mr. Toastmaster. Let's keep the momentum going, get the meeting going as we delve into table topics. What is table topics? Table topics is really learning to speak on the cuff. Come up with a mini speech right off the bat. If you meet someone in the elevator or you even meet someone at the bus stop and hey, you want to impress them, yes, you will come up with a speech. Here in Table Topics, we are timed to do it between 1 to 2 minutes you have to speak. And today we would like you to try to include the word of the day, which is momentum. Now, before we go, I will give you just a brief idea of what a table topic should have. Should have an introduction, a body, and a conclusion, same like a speech. So let's say someone wanted to ask Bibi whether she loves coffee or tea. Of course, Bibi will begin, I love tea right away. That's my wow statement. I've told you what I love. And now I'm going to develop it and say the reason why I love tea. I love tea for these three reasons. One, I can use it to network with my friends. Two, when I'm hungry, it tends to fill up that hunger spot in my stomach. And three, not only can I use it to network, but I can also have a cup of tea when I am down and I want to feel uplift myself, a cup of tea will help me. And then I will wrap it up. I will expand on that, and then I will wrap it up, and I will reinforce what I just said in my conclusion. And I do that in 1 to 2 minutes. It's very, very fun, and you get a chance to explore and try to organize your thoughts. To start with today, it's going to be fun and real super easy because we're going to be doing colors today. And so I will start with a seasoned Toastmaster. So I'll ask Rita to begin because, and Rita, you're going to talk 1 to 2 minutes about this color. And the color is Fandango. Now, you probably never heard of Fandango. Fandango, if you look at my beautiful face, you see my lipstick? That's a Fandango color. It's a pale pink with a it's a purplish red color, and it was named after the dance Fandango. So you have 1 to 2 minutes. Tell us anything about the color Fandango. It's all yours. The word of the day is momentum. The virtual floor is yours.
Thank you, Madam Table Topic Leader, to our fellow Toastmasters, and to our esteemed guests. Fandango. What a fantastic, fabulous word, fandango. You talked about your lipstick being called that. But when you used the word and you showed us your lipstick, it reminded me of the uniform I wore when I was in elementary school. Of course, it wasn't called Fandangle at that time. It was just called a school uniform. But I wish that they had the foresight and the insight back then to use fancy words like Fandangle. Now, it also reminds me of lipsticks of my choice. I like to be fandangolized, if there's such a word, Madam Table Topic Leader, to keep the momentum going for this particular segment of the meeting. When I walk into a store looking for lipstick, I look for the brightest, brightest red. And you may be surprised at that because I'm the type of person that's very conscious about not attracting attention to myself. But I grew up with a woman who loved wearing lipstick, my mother, and she wore it with grace. Now that you've named the shade of the lipstick, I believe that her first choice, more than likely, used to be Fandango. And so both my choice of lipsticks and my school uniform, I would say, fit into that category of Fandango. Now, I like the color red. I've got a few items in my closet that are red. And perhaps we would say it's synonymous with the word fandangle, if that's the correct way to say it. And so, table topic leader, I believe that to start off the table topic with an exciting color that brings feeling and joy and excitement to one's soul is quite a wonderful experience. And so I thank you for starting the momentum with that particular color. Back to you, Madam Table Topic Leader.
BB, you're on mute.
Thank you so much, Rita, for embracing Fandango. I chose this topic because here we get to learn a new color and we get to learn a new dance, the dance of Fandango. So here we go. Now I'm going to ask Elton. Elton, here is your color. Your color would be puce. Puce, and puce is a pale pink with a brown and purple undertone. A pale pink with a brown and purple undertone. So it's not a Fandango color for sure, it's a pale pink.
So the color is a pale pink.
It's called puce.
I've discovered now that I live in the country that pears come in all shapes, sizes, and colors. And one of them happened to be soft pink. And it's amazing how the color determines sometimes the flavor or the taste of the pear. So the light pink color pears are sweeter than the darker color ones, which are more for, I think, baking as opposed to eating. I love pears. I love apples. So anything that is a fruit that has a slight pink color, I am all for eating it, all for trying it out. The only thing about pink I don't like is conjunctivitis, better known as pink eye. And pink eye happens to be something that plagued me for years. Every time I would go down to LA, when I come back home to San Francisco, I would have pink eye. I mean, it was just a given. So there are good things about the color pink. Oh, yes. And there's also the singer, Pink, who I do love her music. I think she has the greatest voice ever. So see, there are some things that are good about Pink versus some things that, well, maybe, I need to think about those items a little more than I would for the things that I really do enjoy now. Pink is an interesting color, and I think every one of us has something or knows someone that owns the color pink. Back to you.
You're on mute,
BB, you're
baby.
on mute.
Thank you so much, Elton, for loving the color pink. I really love pink. I honestly don't love pink, but coincidentally, I don't have many pink clothes at this time, but I do love pink. So I'm gonna keep on the pink tone, and I'm gonna ask Yuri. Yuri, would you like to try at table topics? You've seen two people done it. Would you like a try?
Sure, BB, I'd love to.
Good. I love you. I love you. Let's keep the momentum going, the pink momentum. And your color would be no other than flamingo pink. Now, you would know flamingo pink. If you don't know flamingo pink, man, I don't know what to say. So you have 1 to 2 minutes to tell us about your flamingo pink.
Thanks, baby. Let's keep the momentum going about the things that we do like about pink, specifically flamingo pink. Flamingo pink is a very exciting and thrilling color. It brings joy and happiness. It reminds you, the happiness likely reminds you of good nostalgic times, potentially visiting a zoo with family. And it was also likely one of the top colors in the most recent Barbie movie. Not so recent, but as of the past year. With those three things said, I'll start with why it's such an exciting and happy color. Which, if you think about it, kind of connects to my second point, right? When you remember the times when you were younger, or maybe going with family and friends to visit the zoo, likely you've taken the time to observe the flamingos and how they collect together or socialize, better yet, and how the mothers take care of the baby flamingos. Those are some of the moments I consider when I was younger and would visit the museum with family, friends, or even on school field trips. It reminds me of joyful, happy times, especially when I think about the color pink, specifically flamingo pink. Last but not least, the Barbie movie that was released last year that had a lot of flamingo pink in it signals empowerment to so many women around the world. And I think it's important that we keep that momentum, keep that encouragement going. And flamingo pink can be a great signal and signifier of that source of female empowerment. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Yuri. Thank you so much, guys. You've got it. Women's, gentlemen, pink empowerment. Remember the color pink for empowerment. And now we will move on and we will ask Yukta. Yukta, I'm gonna give you a color that I never knew had was associated with color, a word that was associated with color. And the word is Xanadu. And Xanadu is a muted grayish green color. So a muted grayish green. So you take green and you add some gray to it, you make it a muted grayish green color. Yeah, it's not a pale light green. It has more darkness into it, but not as deep as forest green. So Xanadu, who would have thought Xanadu is a color?
And who would have thought that I would get that color? I am somebody who loves colors. As an Indian and as a Hindu, one of my favorite festivals is called Holi, which falls in the month of March or April. That's when the weather changes, and in India, it is celebrated with colors. Traditionally, those colors were created using natural stuff like flowers, turmeric, and whatnot. So you would have bright yellows, reds, pinks, purples, and people would put color on each other to celebrate this festival. The movies made it very popular for you to wear white outfits so that the colors looked brighter. But if you are a regular person, your parents are definitely going to give you something that's old, that's dirty, so that you can make it dirtier outside. There are many versions of this festival throughout India, but interestingly, even Thailand celebrates something similar at the same time of the year. where they celebrate it more with water than with colors, but that also signifies the change of weather. Now, that reminds me of my topic, which is Xanadu. And if you Google this color, you're going to see a transition of green to gray. That's just the opposite of the weather during the festival that I absolutely love, because winters are usually grayer, and during this festival, you're transitioning towards green. But that's one way of looking at it. I mean, one way of looking at the color. Maybe the color is actually transitioning from gray to green, signifying new life that's coming into the world, signifying new brightness, new colors, and maybe more hope and happiness. And who knows, maybe a lot more pink. With that, I pass this back to BB.
Thank you so much, Yukta, for enlightening us about the festivals in India and its colors variation. Thank you so much. Bruce, do you think we have time for another one?
If you want to ask the guest in person, let's go
Yep.
for it.
Yeah. Kushi, I think I pronounced her name correctly. Kushi, are you willing to go to give it a try?
What do you want to?
Okay,
Hi,
thank
everyone.
you. So your color will be cobalt blue. Cobalt blue is a really deep blue. It's the mineral cobalt, and we all know that cobalt is blue. So it's a really deep blue. The word of the day is momentum. If you can slip that into your speech, we would appreciate it. This virtual floor is all yours.
Sounds good. Cobalt blue. Cobalt blue, just the color cobalt blue reminded me of some of my favorite things to look at. Staring out at the lake, the ocean, the sky, getting reminded of the vastness of the universe and the depth of the ocean. Cobalt blue also reminds me of beautiful gemstones and people's eyes. Cobalt blue. Speaking of the ocean, swimming is something that I never learned. And as an adult, I regret it because it prevents me from a bunch of activities that I'd like to do. It's summer in Toronto, and it's a great time to be out on the lake, paddle boarding, and one day I'd like to surf on the Pacific coast. So I really need to find myself a nice cobalt blue swimming pool and get the momentum rolling on my swimming lessons. Yeah, I believe that blue is one of the most beautiful colors besides red. And it is also something that's associated with Barbies, and also was the color of Mermaid Barbie's hair in the Barbie movie. Oh, we're over time, so thank you, everyone.
Thank you so much, Kushi. Thank you for embracing cobalt blue and telling us about your joy, your love for blue. And I'll ask Bruce if he can launch the poll to vote for the best table topic speaker.
Already there. It's in chat.
And thank you. It's in the chat, and all you win is bragging rights. And with that, I'd like to hand it over back to our Toastmaster, Bruce. The virtual floor is all yours. Thank you so much.
Thank you, BB. Nice and colorful table topics questions. Very well done. Thank you for that.
Thank you.
With that, if everyone can vote, Elton, if you can grab uh, votes from Mikkel and Kushi, that would be great. And then let me know. Thank you for that. And just message me in WhatsApp what the votes are. So thank you for that. With that, I will pass it over to, oh no, introduce the first speaker. Mikkel, if you want to go and get into position, that would be great. Just gotta find the thing that you sent me. There we go. We're getting into the prepared speakers section here, and Mikkel is delivering a speech from his Dynamic Leadership Path, Level 3, Connect with Storytelling. The purpose of this project is to practice using a story within a speech or giving a speech that is a story. His intro, Mikkel comes to us from his home club, the Bay Street Breakfast Club, via Stage Time, run by Suneet Singh, a fellow club member of BB's and I at Art Advanced World Toastmasters. And in the year and a bit as a member of Toastmasters, Mikkel has been able to be a guest speaker at almost 24 clubs virtually and in person across North America. In late July, Mikkel will be presenting two 45-minute workshops in Limerick, Ireland, in front of 400 international conference attendees. Very well. Looking forward to that. I mean, looking forward to hearing about that. Please join me in welcoming Mikkel Nielsen for Disaster Averted. Disaster Averted, Mikkel Nielsen.
Thank you very much, and good evening, fellow Toastmasters and honored guests. It is interesting looking back on one's life that we have so many stories to tell, and some of those have come about because of very strange circumstances. I am never going to say that I cheated death because I'm not going to jinx anything, but I can tell you this. There are a few examples that are really vivid in my mind that I was able to avert disaster. The first one that I remember, I was 8, maybe 9 years old, and because my father was in the military, lived on the military base in Kingston, Ontario. And after 2 weeks of summer camp, the school bus dropped me off on the side of the highway, and all I needed to do was to take the rucksack, which was almost as tall as I was as a kid, which contained my sleeping bag and all of my toiletries and all of my clothes, anything that one could use. And this was so incredibly heavy. So there I am on the side of the highway, and this car pulls up. I was expecting my grandpa to come and pick me up and take me the 500 meters to the house, but he didn't show up. Instead, there was this young couple that showed up, and she rolled down the window. Now, I'm old enough to say roll down the window because that's what happened back in those days. And she was very kind, but they were very insistent that I get into the vehicle with them because they would take me home. There was something that did not seem right, even for 9-year-old me. And I decided that this wasn't going to happen. They became very upset and they drove off. So I grabbed my stuff and walked myself home. And because of course, being that age, had my own key to the house and got in at home. And then I told my parents when they got home because Grandpa hadn't picked me up. Well, my parents took me to the military police and I gave a description of the man and the woman and the car and the circumstances. And the only thing that I did not remember was the license plate. But the military policeman said to me, "You did the right thing and you're very lucky." And it was only until years later that I looked back. Potential disaster averted. Another time was, I would say it's 1995. And I'm in Switzerland. I don't say that to brag. It's because I used to be part of a performing group and we got to tour throughout North America and Europe. We stayed with host families. And this host family drove my roommate and I up into the mountains. And I will admit at this point, it was either because I was overtired or because of the lack of oxygen from being so high up in elevation that I made a bad decision. But as we drove up to their chalet, and yes, I did see a cow with a bell on, exactly the stereotype that one would expect, I decided that I wanted to go for a little exploration. How bad can it be walking through the valley? So I decided I was going to just walk up this very, very steep hill. And it got steeper and steeper, but you see, I had momentum and I had purpose. So I just kept crawling until it got to the point that this was me, a thinner version of me, but this was me against the rock face. And I looked over here and I couldn't move this way. And I looked over there and I couldn't move that way. And when I looked down, and that was a big mistake because I'm not somebody that likes heights, about 10 to 15 meters of open air. And I thought this was the end. And when I went to reach up, there was nothing but rock and dirt. Somehow I managed to grab this tiny bit of grass and pull myself up and rolled onto what was a path. You see, what had happened is I had actually gotten to the top, and this was the ridge line of the hill. A couple of hikers came along and said, "Hello, wie geht's?" And I'm thinking to myself, what just happened? And I followed them because the path came back down into the valley and went right along where the chalet was. My host family said, "We were a little bit worried about you." And I thought to myself, disaster averted. One more time that this happened, and this is where I really trusted my gut as an adult. I had been given the opportunity to be a staff member with some of our students who wanted to do a tour of Kenya. Who's going to turn down an opportunity for a week and a half, fully paid, to be able to go and supervise some students in Kenya? We knew that when we were downtown Nairobi, there was a certain part of the city that we were able to walk around in, segment of blocks, and really you don't go much further than that. That was considered safe for tourists. I don't remember what it is that I wanted to go pick up, but all of a sudden I realized that I'm now alone in an area that is somewhat familiar. This gentleman walked up to me with purpose and he showed me his badge and he said, "You are a foreigner. I am the police. We must talk to you." I'm thinking, you're right on all accounts. So there was a little cafe that was there and we sat down and he said to me, "I am a police officer and there's a vehicle that is coming to pick us both up." And I went, what's happening? What did I do wrong? "No, you didn't do anything wrong. But there's been a coup and we are trying to help collect all of the foreigners to make sure that everyone is going to be safe." Something did not sit right with me. Now, I had actually helped a student get a visa recently in Nairobi, so I knew where the Dutch embassy was. And I asked him, "Am I under arrest?" "Well, no." And I said, "I'm going to leave." And he said, "This will be dangerous." And I said, "I'm going to leave," and made it very loud. And then I walked myself to the Dutch embassy, got up in the elevator, waited in line, and I asked the person, "Has there been a coup?" And the person told me, "No, there has not been a coup, but you probably have averted disaster for yourself." So friends, why I'm telling you these things is that sometimes it's so important to trust your gut. And we all have so many different experiences in our lives. Somehow we don't know how we got into those, but it's the getting out that is important. And may we all successfully avert disaster. Thank you.
Thank you, Mikkel. Great job. Just check the agenda. Complete. Oh, yes. So 1 minute timer, Adrian. If we got 1 minute, just a solid red at 1 minute for people to send comments. So he's not in person. Elton,
Yes.
who do we send? Who do the online people send comments to?
They can send them to me and then I will just forward
The
them.
Toronto. Okay, so Toronto Liberty Village speakers.
Yes.
Got, so if you want to send a comment to Mikkel for that, thank you.
So that would be tlvstm@gmail.com.
Oh, you want it to go by email. Okay, hang on. So I was asking for a image, a zoom image here. So hang on. What is okay, I'll put it in chat. Thank you, Adrian, for the red there. We'll get on to our second speaker now, and our second speaker is Elton, and I'll ask his evaluator, Yukta, to provide us with the purpose statement and to introduce Elton. Thank you.
Thank you. Elton is attempting motivational strategies level 3 project 15, effective body language, and the introduction to his speech. Have you ever heard the saying, I can either laugh about this situation or I can cry about it? There is a powerful truth backed by science, and this afternoon, Elton will share with you the surprising and often misunderstated benefits of the laughter for your body, your mind, and your relationships. Please welcome Elton Brown. Laughter is the best medicine. Laughter is the best medicine, Elton Brown.
What if I told you that there is an unlimited supply of medicine? You don't have to go to a doctor. You don't need a prescription. You don't need to go to a individual who maybe is a spiritualist who can conjure up healing methods, or basically anyone. And that medicine that's unlimited is laughter. Yeah, laughter. So right now, I want everybody, when I count to 3, I want everyone to start laughing. 1, 2, 3. Didn't you feel better just laughing? Not necessarily at anything, but just laughing. And that feeling is so good. And that's one of the things that I want to talk about, how to use this medicine properly. You can't OD on it, by the way. I want to say that right off the bat. So I want to talk about the physical benefits. I want to talk about the mental health aspect of it and the social and relational power. So let's start with the body. Okay, so when you laugh, your body releases endorphins, and those endorphins are the chemical that makes you feel good. And I mean good, depending on when and how you are laughing. So let's say you heard a joke, such as, I walked into my doctor's office and I said, Doctor, I am so tired and I'm depressed. You know, what can you do? And my doctor said, well, I want you to go home, review 2 episodes of The Office and a cat video, and call me in the morning. And I went, what? No pills? And he said, no, only if you want to have fun. Having a study, a study has been done for this type of medicine. So the physiological reports show that the more that an individual laughs, the better the individual is able to get along with people, to handle situations better. In fact, I think our founder even had a line where he said that, we all learn better through laughter, through enjoyment. And that's one of the reasons why I stay a Toastmaster, because I'm able to laugh at people's jokes. I can even laugh at myself when maybe I've done something that maybe I need to work on a little more. The mental health boost, laughter and the brain. So mentally, it is a powerful relaxant. So if you happen to be in a stressful situation and you're sitting there going, what in the world am I going to do? You should probably stop and think about something funny that happened and actually laugh out loud in order to get those endorphins up working and allowing yourself to clear your mind from all of these things that are holding you back from getting what you want done. See, shared laughter, even when you're laughing with your friends, those builds trust and it helps foster emotional bonding. If you notice, when you go to a meeting, sometimes that's one of the things that you do. You get to talk about yourself, the individual who's giving the speech or conducting the workshop, maybe they start off with a joke. And this is a nice way to get the endorphins up, break the silence, get you comfortable, and allow you to continue with the meeting. So, fellow Toastmasters, let me ask you something. When you truly laugh, I'm not talking about a polite laugh like, oh, I'm talking about one of those gut busting, now, I don't know about you, but I remember as a kid, my parents and my aunts and uncles, they would be in the kitchen. I would be in the bedroom because I'm supposed to go to sleep. And I could hear them whispering. And then all of a sudden they go, Now, I didn't know what they were laughing about, but the laughing was contagious. So it made me laugh. How many of you have found yourself in a similar situation where maybe you didn't know exactly what an individual was laughing about, but it made you laugh just because you heard their laughter? It was infectious. So again, as a mental health boost, laughter happens to be a way of helping the mind, clear the mind, and get yourself in a position to continue what you're doing. So now let's not underestimate laughter or the luxury of its distraction, because it's a part of self-care. It's a part of being able to help yourself mentally. So as Charlie Chaplin once said, a day without laughter is a day wasted. So let's make sure that we do not waste laughter. Back to you.
Well done, and Elton, thank you. And Elton delivered that speech at our other shared club together, and he inserted feedback about asking the audience to unmute and do a laugh with him. So I'm glad that he worked that in. So thank you for that. 1 minute timer on red, hard red at 1 o'clock, 1 o'clock at 1 minute. And if you want to, sorry, if you want to send Elton a message in chat, that would be good. You can do so to either Toronto Liberty Village speakers image in Zoom or to the email that I posted earlier, which I'm about to post again. There we go. Oh, red, sorry. Thank you. Thank you, Adrian. We can now get into our third section of the meeting, which is the evaluation segment. And to run that is our general evaluator, Rita. Rita, the virtual lectern is yours.
Thank you, Mr. Toastmaster and fellow Toastmasters. During this segment of any Toastmasters meeting, we are called upon to receive and to offer feedback. The intention is to improve our confidence and leadership skills. This feedback lets us know how we are doing, how we can improve. And so consistently in Toastmasters, we have teams in this particular segment. And tonight, a part of my team will be, first of all, the speech evaluators. And so, Bruce, it's your turn to offer feedback to Mikhail on disaster averted. Bruce, your turn.
Thank you, GE, Rita. Fellow Toastmasters guests, returning guests, but especially Mikkel. I'm going to talk about Mikkel's speech, not directly to Mikkel, so that I involve the audience because hearing feedback is important for everybody. What Mikkel did very well was his use of hand gestures, also eye contact, looking straight into the camera lens. Facial expressions were there, added humor, not wanting to cheat death, rolled down the window, Swiss cow with a bell. You're right on all accounts. It was all there. Every speech should have humor injected into it, no matter what the occasion is. His body language by turning to the side while standing up, that is, and with head turns, doing this and then that. So it was very well done. What Mikkel may want to work on is vocal variety in the sense of pacing and pausing. These are two components of vocal variety, in addition to volume and pitch and tone. But taking a breath after a sentence, pause, allowing the last sentence to be absorbed in our minds because of what we are listening to. The challenge for Mikkel I have for him is his go-to filler word said is and, which was said a lot, which causes a sentence to be extended and extended and extended. See what I did there? The insertion of pauses will help with the removal of and. He had the time to do so since the speech ended while the time ended on time, which was on the yellow virtual background. The clarity spoken, other than the use of and, was very clearly understood. The vocal variety, as I mentioned, the pauses will help eliminate. Excellent eye contact, hand gestures, body language, facial expressions. He looks very comfortable at speaking, considering he's been in Toastmasters for less than 2 years. The added humor, humorous stories, the impact, indeed, for sure. and just a slower pace with pauses between stories will help. But overall, Mikkel, keep the momentum going with your club visits, doing speeches, and may the luck of the Irish be with you in Limerick. Back to you, GE. Rita, thank you.
Thank you, Bruce, for that thoughtful, analytical evaluation of Mikhail's speech. Now, Yukta, it's your turn to offer Elton your thoughts about laughter is the best medicine. The mic is yours, Yukta.
Thank you, Madam General Evaluator. My dear Toastmasters, guests, and the speaker Elton in particular. What a fabulous speech. I'm going to evaluate the speech using the good, better, best model. Things that went well in the speech would be the good part of it. Things that could be done better to take the speech to the next level would be the better part of the speech. And one thing that made your speech the best, or the best part of your speech, is what I'll conclude with under the best. Things that went really well in this speech. The choice of topic, that was fabulous. Your research of the topic was even better. You created relatability by connecting it to Toastmasters, because all of us are here for Toastmasters, and it feels good when you're able to connect to any speech there. You also had very actionable items for your audience, exactly what you should be doing and how. That makes your speech more valuable because now I can go back and do something about the speech that you've shared. My theory is every time you do a speech, think about what do you want your audience to feel, to think, or to do after your speech. Feel, think, or do. That's how you set your objective. And I think you did that really well, Elton. So that was the good part of your speech. Now, what could make your speech better? First is the introduction. And I think as speakers, we often lay very little importance to the introduction which comes before our speech. Now, your introduction, which includes your title, says laughter is the best medicine. And the first sentence of your speech was, what if I said there was unlimited stock of a medicine? Now, because of your title, we know you're talking about laughter. So it has taken away that surprise element. That could have been included by using a different title, which would indicate that you are going to talk about some medicine or some practice or some habit that can work as medicine for people without actually giving it away. Second is that when you started your speech, you said, I'm talking about laughter. You asked the question, what if I said there was unlimited stock of medicine? And then you said, I'm talking about laughter. Maybe that's also somewhere where audience could be engaged. And you could have asked, what medicine am I talking about? And people would have come up with weird answers. Either somebody would have said laughter, or you would have given it away after asking people, and people would have been like, oh yeah, I didn't think about it. So that aha moment could be created, and maybe that is something that could take your speech to the next level. What was best about your speech, or something that is always the best about your speech, is your voice modulation. Laughing out loud, demonstrating, whispering, and then laughing out loud. I could relate to all my relatives I've heard at home who are whispering and they're quiet and then they laugh out loud. And you're like, oh, I thought you were quiet because I was sleeping. And now you're laughing out loud. So I think that created a lot of imagery and drama. And that made your speech even more engaging. And that's your strength, something that you should always hold on to and explore further. Overall, I loved your speech and I'm looking forward to the next one. Thank you. Over to you, Rita.
Thanks, Yukta, for keeping the momentum in this amazing meeting with your feedback to Elton. Now, this is a good time for me to call on our grammarian. Again, Yukta, the grammarian, and Akankta will give us her report.
Thank you, Madam General Evaluator. Any guesses how many times we use the word momentum in today's meeting?
How about 12?
Okay.
15.
12, 15. Anything else?
10.
10. Okay, sold. Momentum was used 11 times, and I'm going to give a list of people who've used it. Now that means we have touched our target. BB used it thrice as the table topic master, and that was the highest number of times one individual used it. So BB, you're the queen of momentum. Then we have Rita, who also used it thrice in two different roles, one as the table topic speaker and then as the general evaluator. Congratulations, Rita. Then we have Yuri, who is a guest, and yet in her table topic, she used the word twice. Congratulations, Yuri. Kushi, am I pronouncing that right? Okay, you used the word of the day once. Mekel, you had a prepared speech and you still managed to include the word of the day. So congratulations. And Bruce, as the evaluator, also used the word momentum. So congratulations to everybody. And if I look at the screen now, everybody who's spoken today has used the word of the day, which is fantastic. All right, so now the rest of the report. Adrian, your crutch word is "are." You used that twice. BB, I didn't notice any poor usage of grammar or filler words. Rita, I loved how you used the word fandangalized. I think that was invention of a word, and that's how English language is. You get a word and then you create a new word out of it. And there are so many words that all of us have created. So that was fabulous usage of the word that was given to you. Elton, in your earlier role, you said connects to my, sorry, I didn't have space for this one, so I've put it there. That's not Elton, that's Yuri. Yuri, you said connects to my second point, right? When you were speaking, so right is a filler word there. It reminds you, and then you paused and then said, the happiness likely reminds you. So that was a repetition. Otherwise, there were no other filler words. Kushi, do you know what your filler word is? It's ah, and it has been used 9 times. So in your table topics, you said ah 9 times and once. You said and, which was a repetition. You also used yeah, and you concluded your speech with so whatever. So these are your filler words. You might want to be conscious next time. Bruce, nice and colorful. That was a repetition that you used. You said nice and then nice and colorful. And your filler word was so. Mikkel, you did not have any filler words. And Elton. Elton used are twice as the prepared speaker. And the only repetition I've noted is mental health boost, and he said that twice. So Elton, you used the same error twice. You said mental health boo, and then you said boost, and then you again said mental health boo, and then you corrected it with boost. You also said having a study, and then you paused, and then you corrected that sentence with a study has been done. Apart from this, I do not have any other filler words or corrections in grammar. I think overall we did really, really well. So congratulations to everyone. Back to you, Madam General Evaluator.
Thank you so much, Yukta, for your thorough report on your roles as the R counter and grammarian. I believe it's time now for our timer, Adrian, to give his report. Adrian, the mic is yours.
Thank you, Madam General Evaluator. My connection is a bit unstable, so I don't have my video on. Well, we all had really great momentum today. Rita, Your time was 2 minutes. Alton, you had 2 minutes and 19 seconds for your table topic. Yuri, 2 minutes. Yukta was 2 minutes and 19 seconds for your table topic. Kushi was 2 minutes and 7 seconds. And then Mikkel, 6 minutes and 50 seconds. Elton, for your speech, 7 minutes and 12 seconds. Bruce, 2 minutes and 20 seconds for your evaluation. And Yukta, 3 minutes and 30 seconds for your evaluation. Thank you, Madam General Evaluator.
Thank you, Adrian, for your report. And now is my time to offer my report on my observations of the meeting as the general evaluator. Mr. Timer, if you can show the green flag at 1 minute, the yellow at 2, and the red at 3 minutes. This was, based on my observations, a simply amazing meeting. And that's not unusual for this particular club because you've got very well experienced and seasoned Toastmasters in this club. I came on early, and of course, our chairperson, Bruce, was online at that time, and so were you, Bibi. And I believe your chit chat and your networking created the ambience and the warmth that we needed to set the tone and the stage for this meeting. When the meeting got started, Bruce, you talked a little bit about your journey as a Toastmaster and about your awards. And again, I would say that added to the ambience, to the warmth, to creating a safe space for us to feel good at the meeting. So simply amazing, Bruce. In terms of our grammarian, Yukta, you introduced your role. I particularly liked your pacing. It was noticeable. It demonstrated to me that you were well prepared. You did not only tell us about the filler words, but you encouraged us to pause rather than using those filler words. Thank you for that. Simply amazing, Yukta. And then our timer told us what his role was, and you explained it in detail. Again, I would say it was effective and simply amazing. So I go to Bibi, who was our table topic leader. Bibi, you set the stage. And what I liked, what I found amazing was the fact that you explained what we do in table topics, that there needs to be a beginning, a middle, and a conclusion, but you also gave us an example. And for people who are not accustomed to Toastmasters meetings, that is very helpful. I certainly appreciated that. And your creativity in your choice of colors. You painted a palette. You created some artwork for us that I certainly appreciate. Simply amazing, Bibi. The speakers, you were already evaluated, and the evaluations were to the point. When we evaluate speeches at Toastmasters, it's important, it's imperative that we offer positive feedback, but also we give the person something to work on to take them to that next stage for their next presentation. And so that was well done. All in all, I would say a wonderful meeting that I would put the umbrella over it and say it was simply amazing. Back to you, Mr. Chair.
Thank you, Rita. Well done evaluation, and thank you for making me feel good. I'm going to ask the table topics speaker, Bibi, to announce our table topics winner for bragging rights. I sent you a message in chat. You're on mute.
Thank you so much, Bruce. I forgot. The new updated Zoom, your messages to you personally are on the top.
Correct.
I found that out by default the other day. So for bragging rights, can I have a drum roll, please? Drum roll, drum roll. And the best table topic speaker, the bragging rights award goes to you, Yuri. Thank you so
Oh,
much.
welcome.
You followed my example to the T.
She did. She
Thank
did
You
you.
indeed.
did.
Yeah. Okay, Rita. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, well done. I was thinking the same thing when after I heard your speech or topic, Yuri. I thought, oh, she's following BB's example at the beginning. So well done. With that, I will, club business right now is that we are officially a distinguished club in Area B22 because we signed up our ninth member this morning. So yay. We were talking about this earlier and that, but this is great. Well done for the efforts. Actually, I'm patting myself on the back for that one. And guest comments. Yuri, since you're on the call right now, and I'll come back to Kushi after. So, Yuri, if you want to just let us know what you thought of tonight's meeting. You were here earlier at a previous meeting, so let us know what you thought.
Absolutely. I thought that today's meeting was wonderful. I really appreciated BB's instructions on how we should frame our stories when it comes to the colors. And I really appreciated Yukta's feedback because I'm well aware that sometimes I end my statements with right. So you rightfully called it out, as well as the repetitious phrases. So thank you so much for that feedback. And I'm looking forward to the next meeting.
Thank you. Yeah, Yuri, when I hear somebody saying right at the end of a sentence, I want to yell at them, like in a polite way, of course, and say,
Yes.
"No, I don't know if it's right because I wasn't there." Think of it that way.
Yep.
So, and Kushi, you're up next. If you can get a microphone from Alton and go up to the or there, that's fine. Yep.
Hi everyone. It was great meeting you all. I felt very welcomed the moment I stepped in. Felt like a safe space. I
Yep.
learned so much. I have a bad habit of using filler words, and just seeing that called out is going to help me improve, and I really appreciate that. And I'm looking forward to more of these meetings. I already feel like a better speaker just through osmosis.
Excellent.
You guys are amazing. So yeah,
Great. Thank you, Kushi.
everyone.
Well done. Thank you.
And I use so again at the end, so gotta
And
work on that.
Usually so is at the beginning of a sentence. So that's good. That's good. And Mikkel? Whoop, whoop. There we go.
There we go. I guess I'm here. Hi,
Oh,
everybody.
oh, there you are.
Yep.
Yes, yes.
Thank you very much for having me again. It's always good to be able to go and see new clubs, and this was a lot of fun seeing some new faces as well. So thank you very much for having me.
You're welcome. Thanks, Mikkel. With that, any comments from BB or Elton, Yukta? No? Okay. Let's yep.
Yes, I have one
Oh,
comment.
sorry. Yes, go ahead.
I have signed myself up for the treasurer's club officer training on the 29th.
29th, yes. Thank
Yeah,
you.
so I'm going to get
I
my
think I noticed that,
training
yeah.
going. And I have the other one to sign up for. I think it's VP membership. Yeah.
Yeah. I think I have you down for the 29th and stuff, but
Yeah.
just keep me informed. Let me know who the trainer is. Do a screenshot midway through. Oh no, unless you're going to be, you're going to be online? Yes, of course you will. Yeah. So if you can do a screenshot.
Yes, I will be
Yes.
online. Yeah.
Yeah. I will be, I'm doing the training for the SAA on the 29th in person, and Adrian will be there either in person or online. And that, so I'll see Adrian at that point on Sunday. Okay, with that, I'll turn it back over. Well, I'll say goodbye to everyone. Elton, yeah? Okay. Ciao. See you next time. Happy Canada Day weekend coming up. And
Thank
then
you.
yes, and we'll see you on the second Tuesday in July. There you go. Ciao, guys.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, you too.
And
I'm
you,
very happy we were able to achieve the
yes,
distinguished club task status.
yes,
Yeah, very happy that
yeah.
we were able to achieve that. That's a
And are
big
you going to
one.
be in person? Are you doing it? Are you at the TLI on Sunday, Yukta, in person?
Yes.
Okay, so I'll see you then. Okay. Ciao, guys.
Okay.
See you. Bye-bye.
Bye, Adrian. Bye-bye. Bye, Mikhail. Bye, Elton.
Okay.
Glad you're
Take
feeling
care.
better.